Hi friends, in the previous lecture we have seen uh, what is mean by P&L account and also the balance sheet. Okay, that means we are having the simple knowledge, basic knowledge of trading P&L and balance sheet and how to prepare them. Okay, in trading account we are going to write all the direct expenses. In P&L account we are going to write all the indirect expenses, and through which we are going to know that how much indirect expenses should be reduced so as to incur some high profits, and how to know the financial position with the balance sheet. So we know how to prepare the trading P&L and balance sheet. Basic knowledge we are having, but that is only not sufficient for preparation of final accounts. We are also having the main topic, which is adjustments. These adjustments also we have to consider while following while we are doing the uh, final accounts. In the questions they will be asking us directly adjustments, and but in practical life we have to see what adjustments are to be made, and that means we have to check all the necessary ledger accounts, trial balance, etc, etc. Okay, so we have to we have to discuss the many adjustments we are having actually. Okay, let us start with the adjustments. uh, you will be getting a doubt that uh, whether if we adjust these adjustments, then only the final accounts problems will be getting tallied. No, the answer is no, because without adjustments also the answer will be tallied. But by adjusting the given adjustments, we shall able to say the correct profit and losses, and also the financial position, which is exactly what it is to be there. So with these adjustments we are going to say correct profits of the business and also the financial position of the business. Okay, that is what main thing. First of all, let us now see what are the adjustments we are having. Not all the adjustments. First of all, let us look into the basic basic adjustments what we need to check. Okay, let us see, for which I am drawing one box. Okay, so here, so that I can write here the adjustment entry. Here I can write the effect in trading and P&L account, and here in this third thing we are able to write the effect in balance sheet. Okay, which is position statement. Okay, let us now start. Here I am writing adjustment entry. Okay, adjustment entry. 1 minute friends. Okay, here we shall see it is not working nice. So we shall write it here adjustment entry, effect in trading and P&L account, and here effect in balance sheet. Okay, let us see that effect in balance sheet. Okay, affecting balance sheet. First adjustment would be outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses are expenses payable, or expenses payable. That means with this word only, payable, we can able to decide that the nature of outstanding expenditure is a liability, that is which is still payable. The expenses are not yet paid, that are payable, so there is a liability of the firm, not for a proprietor. Here we are going to discuss about the firm only, that is the thing. So outstanding expenses are expenses payable. Then what will be the adjustment entry, I mean rectification, and sorry, we can say that is adjustment entry only. Entry is expense account debit to outstanding expenditure account. Okay, expenses account that are to outstanding expenses account. That means these outstanding expenses, these expenses are still payable, so we have to add them to the respective expense. That respective expense will be located under income statements only, right? That is a trading P&L. That means it is to be when so I'll be explaining. Okay, that means whenever it is there, we have to add. Then for every adjustments, there would be, for every adjustments there are two impacts. Impact under income statements, either impact under income statements on income statement accounts, or position statements, impact on income statement only, or impact on position statement only, or on both. Okay, there will be two impacts. We have to take into the consideration. These two impacts will be under when it is given in adjustments. That means when it is given under adjustments, what we have to follow, and when it is given in trial balance, when it is given in trial balance, what we need to follow. When it is given in adjustments and when it is given in trial balance. When it is given in adjustments, what we need to do, as it is showing that we have to debit to the expense again. That means in expense account we have to add expense. If the expense is account like this, there will be some balance in the debit side, because it is an expense which will be having debit balance. And if any expenditure to outstanding expenditure is there, we write the to outstanding expenditure. That means this amount will be added to the expenditure. That means what it is to be added to respective expense. It is to be added to respective expense. When it is given, so this is in income statement account. That means effect on the income statement account. Then what we should see, I already discussed that this is the nature of liability. As it is a liability, it is to be shown as current liability under balance sheet. When it is given in adjustments, there will be two impacts. Where it is given in trial balance, then we are only having one impact. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, when it is given in trial balance, then what we need to follow, then what is to be done? When it is given in trial balance, what will be we have to take a note that the above entry was already written. Okay, the above entry was already written. That means the entry expense account data to outstanding expenditure account is already incorporated when it is given in trial balance. That means what impact would be there actually? Let us now see. Let us see that. Let us think that this is an expenditure account. Okay, this is an expenditure account. So here we are having two balance brought down. Okay, and now let us take an outstanding expenditure account also. Outstanding expenditure also. So this is credit side, this is debit side and credit side. Okay, then this entry was already written. That means what? Expense is already added with outstanding expense to outstanding expenditure expense account data to outstanding expenditure account. Then the total balance would be like a carried down balance. Okay, by balance carried down. So here we write to balance brought down with the total amount which is already existing and which is added with outstanding expenditure. But what will be like here? Here in outstanding expenditure account we add the entry that by expenses account by that same balance to balance carry down, and here by balance brought down. So it is showing again a credit balance now. As it is showing a credit balance, this would be appearing as a current liability in a balance sheet. As it is already adjusted to trading or to the respective expenditure, then there will be no impact in the income statement accounts. So there will be no impact on the income statements. It is to be shown as current liability in balance sheet when given in trial balance. When it is given in trial balance, it is to be shown as simply it is to be shown as current liability. When it is given in trial balance, when it is given in adjustments, it is to be shown as current liability, as well as it is to be added to the respective expense in trading or P&L account. So let us write it clearly in trading or P&L account. Okay, P&L account is nothing but profit and loss account. Okay, that you know, right? So this is what the impact of first adjustment, which is outstanding expenditure. I'll repeat, outstanding expenditure, entry for outstanding expenditure is expense account data to outstanding expenditure account. Okay, outstanding expenditure is still payable, so that will be like a liability, and it is to be added to the respective asset, not asset, respective expenditure. Okay, when it is given an adjustment, then that is to be added to respective expense in trading or P&L, and it is also to be shown as current liability in balance sheet. When it is given in trial balance, this entry, the entry expenditure account data to outstanding expenditure will already been recorded. That means it has already been adjusted to the expenditure account, but there will be a credit balance for the outstanding expenditure account that will be shown as a current liability under balance sheet simply. Okay, now second adjustment, which is prepaid expenditure. Okay, prepaid expenditure. Prepaid expenditure is nothing but the expenses which has to be paid in the current year or for the next year that has already been paid. Okay, I repeat, the expenditure which is payable this year has already been paid in the last year, or the expenditure which has to be paid in the next year that has already been in the current year. So we have rendered our services earlier only, but we need to get the services from other party. That means we implies the firm needs to get from the other party. That would be like asset simply. So the nature of prepaid expenditure would be asset. It is still receivable, right? The services which we have rendered previously, the expenses we have already paid previously, but the services which we want now, we are not yet received. We have to receive that one. That is what asset. As if we are going to payable, that would be like a liability. If we are receivable, that would be like asset. Okay, then what will be the entry for as we are going to follow the accrual concept of accounting, then we need to consider only current year expenses. Only current year expenses. If any outstanding is there, that is to be added to the expenses. If any prepaid or advance is there, that is to be subtracted. Okay, that is what the thing is. Now what will be the entry? As it is prepaid, this is to be subtracted. That means if expenses are to be reduced, then it is to be credited. Actually, if we are going to increase that one, we are going to debit the expenditure account. If we want to decrease the expenditure, then we are going to credit the expenditure. So entry would be what? Prepaid expenses account debtor to expenses account. Prepaid expenditure account debtor to expenses account. Then now also same thing, when it is given in adjustments, we are going to have two impacts. When it is given in trial balance, we are having only one impact, single impact. When it is given in adjustments, when it is given in adjustments, and also the second thing, which is when it is given in trial balance. We already know that when it is given in trial balance, the above entry was already written. Okay, then when it is given in adjustments, what we need to do? When it is not given in adjustments, that means when it is given in trial balance, what we need to follow? Okay, what we need to do? See, as I have already said that if any outstanding is there, we have to add. If any advance or prepaid is there, we have to less. Okay, when it is given adjustments, it is to be subtracted. I'm sorry. What right here, right? It is to be subtracted from trading respective expense in trading or P&L account. Okay, when it is given in adjustments, it is to be added to trading or P&L account for the respective expense, and it is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet. It is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet. Okay, it is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet. And when it is given in trial balance, and we have written that the above entry has already been recorded. Okay, let us now take an example here. So this is an expenditure account. This is credit side and this is debit side, and here we are having balance brought down to balance brought down. And when we record this expenses account, and here we are going to add by prepaid expenditure, that means, and here we are going to add carried on balance, that means it is already been adjusted when it is given in trial balance. But we shall look at now the prepaid expenditure account. This is prepaid expenditure account. Okay, here to expenditure account, and we are going to carry down the same balance, and we are going to brought down the same balance. That means it is showing the debit balance now. When it is given in adjustments, we have to follow the both impacts. When it is given adjustment trial balance, we have to follow only single impact, which is the expenditure account has already been completed. That means it is already been subtracted from the expenses account. It is shown as current asset in balance sheet. Simple. So no effect would be there in the trading or P&L, but simply when it is given, when prepaid expenditure is given in trial balance, it is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet. My dear brother, you are going to thinking that sir, you are saying that that will be appearing in trial balance, but where the prepaid expenditure or outstanding expenditure will be appearing in trial balance? As it is a liability, it will be having credit balance, so this will be in credit side. Okay, as it is the nature of asset, it would be having debit balance, which will be appearing in debit side of in the debit balances of the trading trial balance. So this would be the second adjustment. Now comes the third adjustment. Okay, now let us look at the third adjustment, which is, so these are the adjustment based on expenditure. Now we shall see the adjustment based on income also. So that is accrued income or income receivable. Accrued income or income receivable. The name receivable, the word receivable only says that it is that means we have already rendered the services, but we should get the income now. That means it is still receivable, as that is a receivable. We should be consider this as a nature of asset which would be having debit balance. So with the words only we can decide which of which nature it is. Okay, let us know, sir. Same, let us know accrued income or income receivable. As it is a receivable, we have to add. Receivable means outstanding income, outstanding. Okay, outstanding income, outstanding, the word outstanding says we have to add the word prepaid or advance received, that would be saying less. Okay, receivable means outstanding, still not yet received, so we have to add that one to income. Income would be having credit balance, that means we have to credit the income again. What would be the entry? Entry would be accrued income account debtor, accrued income account debtor to income account. Okay, accrued income account debtor to income account. Okay, this is the adjustment entry. So now also we are having the same things when it is given in adjustments. When it is given in adjustments, and also the second impact, that when it is given in trial balance. When it is given in trial balance, we know that the above entry is already recorded. Was already we're done. Okay, when it is given in adjustments, what we need to follow? When it is given in trial balance, what we need to follow? Simply we know that this is an outstanding, this is to be added, it is to be added to respective. There will be only one income in trading account, so this income would be in indirect income, which would be there appearing in profit and loss account. It is to be added to respective income in profit and loss account. Maximum the adjustments would be done taken under profit and loss account only. Some adjustments related to wages, freight inwards, carriage inwards, etc., which we record under trading account, except that one, main all adjustments will be there in the profit and loss account only. Okay, what would be there here now? It is to be added to respective income in profit and loss account. As I have already discussed with you that this is a nature of asset, it is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet. Okay, it is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet simply. Okay, it is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet. Now when it is given in trial balance, the above entry was already recorded, but what would be that what would be the impact account? First of all, let us take that income as interest, or we shall take the income account only directly. Let us say that this is an income account. Income account will be having the credit balance, that is by balance brought down, and when the income is accrued, that means we have to add the income, that means we have to credit the income again by accrued income. Okay, that would be total, and this would be carried on here. Okay, and here brought down with the total balance. That means this balance include original plus adjusted balance. That means the income account is already been adjusted. That means there will be not changes in the income statement account. Okay, but let us now see accrued interest account, accrued income account. Accrued income to income, the entry would be the accrued income to income. Here carried on would be the same balance, and brought down would be in the debit side. That means it is having the debit balance. So accrued income given in trial balance debit side is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet. It is to be shown as current asset in balance sheet. So this is the third adjustment, and we shall discuss one more adjustment for today, and we shall discuss the remaining adjustment, okay, in next video and next class. The first four adjustments are very simple. I think in accord all adjustments are simple actually, but we have to understand the impact. That's it. If we know the impact and also the balances what that would be showing, then that would be simple. So now comes the fourth adjustment regarding the incomes. Okay, which is advance received income or income received in advance. That means the income is already been received out previously. That means the income which is to be received in the next year, that has already been received in the current year. That means we are required to render the services to outsiders. That is a liability. We have to render our services, which is liability. So the nature of thing is liability. That would be appearing, that is a credit balance. Okay, income received in advance. As I have already said, this is an advance. As this is an advance, we have to less. Okay, so what would be the entry? First of all, adjustment entry would be what? As we have to decrease the income, we have to debit the income account debtor to advance received income account. Okay, this is the entry, adjustment entry. So again same impacts when it is given in adjustments. And also when it is given in trial balance. Okay, when it is given an adjustments, it is to be subtracted from respective expense. It is to be not expense, I'm sorry, it is to be deducted from respective income in profit and loss account. It is to be shown as current liability in balance sheet, and whenever it is given in at the trial balance, the above entry was already recorded or already written, all are same only. Okay, whenever it is given in trial balance, let us now see. So let us draw an income account. Okay, the income would be showing the credit balance, that means by balance broaden would be of the credit balance. Here to advance received income, and the carried on balance would be here, and brought down balance would be here. Okay, that means the advance received income is already adjusted to the income account when it is given in trial balance. Okay, but let us now see advance received income account. Where is advance received income account? In advance received income to advance received income, so here by income account, and the carried on balance here, brought on balance here, that would be showing as a credit balance, which is a liability. That means that we should not do anything when it is given in trial balance. Advance received income given in trial balance, credit side, trial balance credit side, to be shown as current liability in balance sheet. Current liability in balance sheet, simply. So these four adjustments, very simple adjustment. The primary are simple actually. Okay, let us discuss one more adjustment, which is a simple adjustment, that is set off. Set off, the adjustment entry would be creditors account debtor to debtors account. Okay, creditors account debtor to debtors account. Why it is like that, I shall explain you. Okay, for example, there is a person called X. Okay, he has to pay, that means X is having a debit balance and also the credit balance. Okay, the X is like a debtor by 10,000 rupees, and X is like a creditor for 5,000 rupees. That means we have to still receive from X by rupees 10,000, and we have to pay 5,000 rupees to X. Is acting like both debtor as well as creditor for the firm. Then if we set off this 5,000 from rupees 10,000, then only rupees 5,000 is still receivable. That means in set off we can set off with least amount. Set off means cancel. Set off means, that means if the X is debtor by rupees 10,000 and X is creditor by rupees 5,000, then we can say from the net entry that X is a debtor by rupees 5,000. That means we can ignore 5,000 from X. and we have to receive only 5,000 from X. That means with this notation, what we can say that if that is a debtor by rupees 10,000 and creditor by rupees 5,000, we can say that this 5,000 balance is been reduced from creditors, that would be showing a nil balance as a creditor. And if we have to reduce this 5,000 from debtors also, that would be showing the balance there. Okay, that means we have to decrease both debtors as well as the creditors. If we want to decrease the debtors, as debtors will be showing debit balance, as we have to decrease the debtors, we have to credit that one. So that is why we have credited the debtors account. As we have to decrease the credit by the creditors, as it is showing credit balance, if we want to decrease the creditors, we have to debit the creditors. That is why it is debited. So this adjustment is the adjustment which is only for the position statement, neither it shows the impact on 1 minute friends. One minute. Okay, this is the adjustment which is only for the position statement. So for which decrease both debtors as well as creditors with the least amount. Okay, that means here I have given that there the X is like a debtor by the debtor with extra money. If we take the person by who is a debtor by rupees 1 lakh and creditor by 1,50,000, then we have to set off with 1 lakh rupees. That means from debtors we have to remove his name, and creditors also we have to remove his name. The remaining balance will be like a creditors. That means we are still payable to Y. He will be acting as a creditor. Then here in this case X is acting like a debtor and Y is acting like a creditor. Okay, that is what we have to understand. So these are the basic adjustment entries which we have to take into the consideration. In the next class or next video, we can discuss the remaining adjustments. Okay, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe my channel. Thank you, and also share the channel please. Bye.